No.
Sorry.
That makes it exciting. I'm so pleased.
Just like no space behind my chair. I'm just like so relaxed, like back here, and you're just like, oh, I'm not gonna. Hi.
We are with Divya.
Hey.
Yeah, she has a YouTube channel too.
Which we'll link to in the bottom.
Yeah. Yeah, we thought today we would discuss what we've learned from going to university. Tom's graduated already. Me and Divya are still at university.
So I graduated in December from Heathrow College, which is the Specialist Philosophy and Theology College of the University of London, and I studied BA in Theology. I'm going back in September to do an MTH. Hopefully, I'll be going back to do an MTH.
Yeah, and we're on the same course.
Yeah.
At London College of Communication, that's how we met. And we do journalism, and we're about to go into our third year.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah,
Well, we are. If we passed second year.
How do you feel knowing that, like, at the end of this year, you're like going out into the world too?
I don't want to think about it.
It gives me shivers, honestly.
It comes all too soon.
It does.
Way too soon.
I can't deal with it. What did university teach you?
Oh gosh. University actually taught me a lot, I think. Well, it taught me like really practical things such as washing and food and things, but sort of like, did you two live in halls at all?
Yeah.
Was it like catered?
No.
I had a studio apartment, so I had my own kitchen and stuff.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah.
But so you didn't have
But we all have to like have.
He lived in Hogwarts, I swear.
Yeah.
Oh. That must have been quite a commute.
It was good. But like in a horse residence, you get like £50 to spend in the canteen. So it's sort of like a halfway between home and going out and living completely free. So I think that was quite good. So you learn a bit more about cooking and general living and how to take care of yourself, that your sheets don't wash themselves. But I think the most important thing that it taught me really, and as well the academic side, it taught me a lot more about the subject that I was passionate about. And it gave me such a greater passion to pass that on, as Danielle knows, to her detriment. But I think the thing that it taught me the most was about people. Like, it taught me much more about different cultures and how to relate to people and how to understand somebody else's argument or point of view better. I think that was, and as well how to, I'm not particularly articulate, but usually it's because I'm thinking, do I really mean what I'm about to say? Can what I say be misconstrued in any way? Am I using the words that I really want to use or really mean? So if you look at all good theology, whenever they are, I'm almost finished. When you look at like all good theology, like if people are reacting against something, the best theology comes when the person actually fully presents the other argument in the best possible way. So then, yeah. So I think that's what university really is taught me.
Okay.
I think like when you're growing up in like a small town, like I did, I'm an overseas student. You kind of grow up with the same people from like daycare right up until the end of high school. And I always knew how to deal with ABC kind of people. But when I moved here, I had to learn how to deal with like pretty much the rest of the alphabet. Like, you know, people who were one person on social media and one person in real life. And you know, just dealing with a number of people and learning like, okay, like this is how you kind of approach different, you know, walks of life and stuff, and it's always important to be open-minded, and yeah, like that's definitely what I learned socially.
Before I came to university, I used to like be really nervous, and like I used to have real difficulty when it came to like I think it like when even in like job interviews, I got to a point where like I couldn't actually like speak, and I wouldn't ever go anywhere. I wouldn't go out as much because I used to get really nervous and stuff. But going to university and like meeting new people and being thrown into the deep end, I think kind of made me come out of my shell and showed me that I had to be confident, especially in journalism as well. And also if I wanted to make friends. So
the first day when we met.
Yeah. Another thing I've met is like first impressions aren't always the best.
Go on, tell me about your first impressions.
Okay, my first impression of Danielle was, oh god, this girl is late to class.
I was not late.
She was late to class.
I was not late. She was
It's all coming out now.
early.
It's all coming
She was
out.
early. Basically, when I first came in, there was like a table, and there was Divya, and then this girl Ria, and then Hallam, and they were all sitting together, and they were talking, and there was a chair available next to Hallam. So I went and sat down, and I was like to him, hi, and then he was like, hi, and then carried on talking to Divya and Ria, and then I eventually became really good friends with you guys, who I thought were really horrible. First impression, I was like, they're not willing to make
Success
friends.
story.
Yeah.
Do you ever have like anyone that's really, really weird at your university?
Lots.
Yeah.
Like what's like the kind of weird that you have?
Well, because we go to an arts university, it's like artsy weird.
Oh, okay. We have like we have this. I don't know if I can say her name, but basically like on our first day at university, we were like queuing outside the door, and it was when the paedophile priest scandal first broke. And so we were saying like, oh, isn't it terrible? It's calamitous. Oh, it's so upsetting. And then this woman like put up her hand and said, you know what I think's really bad? I think it's really bad that the church gives alcohol to under 18s. And I was like, oh my god, is she for real? Like, it's not even in the same category. And my friend Gabriella turned around to her and said, actually, I think that's really an insensitive thing to say. I really don't think that you should be saying something like that. That's not cool. And she didn't say anything. I was just silent. This is before we'd even registered. This was on registration day. And she came behind me. You're Gabriella, so face this way. Face that way. Okay. And she leaned over my shoulder and she just went...
Oh my god!
down in her ear. Anyway, she got her head stuck in a lift. And she tried to sue the college.
Oh my god!
Yeah, that's the kind of crazy we have at Heathrow.
Oh,
But everyone there's so
that's
lovely.
So completely off the reservation.
Also, a main thing that I learned was having to deal with landlords and rent and this kind of stuff.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
it's horrible, and bills and council tax. Not the fun part, but a necessary part.
Like you just never think about your parents having to deal with that. Like,
Oh, I never thought about having to pay for somewhere to live.
Well, no, but like
Yeah,
council tax and things, like
Yeah.
you don't really think about, do you?
No, but even so, you're like,
You just think, how much is my rent?
Water costs this much?
I know, yeah, it's ridiculous.
Electricity costs this much? Really?
Oh.
Really? Like, but no, I guess that's what university has taught me so far. It's taught me a hell of a lot more, but that would be a very long video.
oh yeah.
It taught me about libel.
What's the most interesting academic thing that you've learned?
I like learning about media law because media law back home is different as well. So I like learning about censorship laws here and crime reporting and stuff like that. Because even though I do love like the practicality of a course, I do like sometimes sitting down and reading stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I really enjoy doing that kind of stuff.
I've really got into like the research and everything on like the whole war on terror thing. I think it's a really interesting subject.
I saw those books at your house.
Yeah, it's still there.
Crazy books.
They're still there.
They're still there.
They're still there.
So there are two things that I like, and I promise I won't go on as much. The first one is the human person. Like I did a module called the human person in Christian tradition, and that was quite interesting. So what is it that makes a person a person? I thought that was quite interesting. And also translation issues. So when you get given a text, it's already been translated for you. You don't get to see like contours in the text. So like for example, originally the scripture would have been written in Greek, and sometimes we will have two words with different meanings, but in the Greek it's the same thing. So for example, the Greek word katalambano would be used to describe overcome and understand. Now in England it's in English it's like two separate like concepts, but in the Greek they wouldn't have been saying, oh, which one does it mean? It would have meant both simultaneously, but we only get given one word, so we lose like part of the meaning. So I find things like that like quite interesting.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay. No, it's cool. It's cool. I think like I don't know.
I think it's quite
I
interesting.
want to
Yeah.
read about that.
Yeah.
Especially the concept of the person, the human person.
Yeah, what is it that makes person a person?
Yeah.
That's quite,
Yeah.
I think it's quite interesting.
Okay. So that's what we have learned from university.
Just a tip.
Also, how to
iceberg, right?
reference. My gosh, referencing's crazy. I'm going to shut up because I just keep going on.
I was like, okay. No, but yeah, referencing.
Yeah. Yeah. So let us know what you learned about from university.
Yeah,
If you
or
got-
the University of Life, like
Yeah.
general
Yeah.
things.
Life.
And what you want to learn, I guess, from university? Or?
If you're going to university, where are you going? That'd be quite interesting to know.
Yeah. Yeah. We also filmed a video over on Divya's channel about we did a table talk,
Yeah.
which is quite cool. Yeah, and make sure you subscribe to her.
Please.
We'll
Yeah.
put the link down below.
Yeah.
Alright.
All right. Yeah. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you very soon. Hopefully we'll have her back.
Vaguely soon.
Yeah.
Vaguely.
Vaguely soon. We'll see you at some point.
Oh.
Bye.
Bye.